Hi my friend, how are you? In today's video, I want to casually chat a little bit about passion. Should you follow your passion? And if so, how does it work? Is it straightforward as it sounds, or it's a much more complicated process? Today's video is going to be simply a coffee chat, which means I'm not going to put any insert in this video. You can just simply grab your coffee, do your chores, and then put me in your background like friends talk to friends. If you are new here, my name is Nani. I'm a writer-director based in Los Angeles, and this channel is where I share my process of writing and nourishing my creativity. If you like this kind of content, remember to subscribe. Let's get into the topic. So, passion. If you are watching this video, chances are you have some passion you really want to pursue, but you're not sure if you should, or you have some fear around the topic, or you're not sure what is your passion and everybody around you talking about passion, and that kind of gave you anxiety. And I really hope this little chat today can give you a little bit clarity. I was one of the people very early on that kind of aware where my passions lie. When I was very young, I told my parents that I want to be a filmmaker. I told them that's what I feel passionate about. I've seen adults around me, including my parents, that they are exhausted by their job. At least from my perspective, there was a lot of complaint about how they don't want to go to work and then they have to because of the paycheck. Things like that. Each time when I mention to them what I want to do in the future and what I love about, they often give me the similar answer, which is, you think you are passionate about this, but when it comes to you have to work for it, you have to treat it as a career, there will be responsibility, there will be financial stress attached to it, and then you will have resentment towards your passion. Your hobby will become something you hate, and you will lose your hobby. You will lose the only thing you like. I've heard this kind of theory from many other people. Some were kind of in a similar sense. If we follow our passion, we kind of putting what we love and mix it into the reality, financial stress, things like that, and then we might lose the passion eventually. And I really get it where they come from, but I didn't listen to my parents, and eventually I went on the path pursuing my filmmaking and the screenwriting career. It's been 8 years since I changed my trajectory and then pursuing my passion, and then this is what I learned. Should you pursue your passion? And my answer is absolutely yes. I'm a firm believer that you should pursue your passion, but don't jump into the conclusion so quickly. I'm going to dive a little bit into the detail of what I meant by passion. The reason I think we absolutely should pursue our passion is that whatever job you take on, there will always be challenges, there will always be struggles. Nothing comes easy, so you might as well doing something that you kind of enjoy, something maybe brings you into flow, bring you some joy from moment to moment. It doesn't have to be every day. There will be time that you still feel very struggle or feel not like to do it, but overall it's something that you feel more likely to get satisfaction out of when you take the action to do the work. Here I want to raise this very important question. What is passion? So when we were a kid, we often were asked, what would you like to be when you grew up? I think that was a very misleading question. The question itself is already aiming at a result, an achievement, a person that we are going to become or we want to become. But what about the process? The process is where we spend most of our time working on and struggling with. If we don't enjoy that process, how are we going to reach that angle? I think the question we should ask ourselves even today is what kind of activity will bring you joy, what kind of activity will give you a sense of presence easily, and then also easily to bring you into the flow, into the zone. And I think that activity might be something you can look into, and it could be developed into your passion. You see here, I've been very careful to use my word. I didn't define this as your passion. I only say it could be developed into a passion, because I really think any kind of passion we're trying to pursue, it takes time to recognize, and then it takes a longer period of time and energy to work on and work through. And I think it's important to find the thing that you're willing to spend time and energy to cultivate it into your passion. Let's say you want to be a writer or a filmmaker. Do you really have moments of feeling enjoying the writing process? Do you really want to learn how to write well, how to tell a good story? When you write a good sentence, or when you come up with a very interesting scene or dialogue, does that give you excitement, give you goosebumps, and makes your day? Or you just kind of like the idea of being a writer, a filmmaker? You like the idea of publishing a book and then seeing your book on other people's bookshelf? You like the idea of seeing your name credited as a filmmaker, director on the big silver screen? Or you just want to be famous, and then that's nothing shamed about. It's totally okay, and I'm sure a lot of us always want to be seen, and a part of us want to be famous, and it's totally okay to have that drive too. I think one of the good example is what Oprah Winfrey said about herself. I mentioned this in one of my video before, but I don't remember where I mentioned it, so I'll just quickly tell you the story again. When she was very young, she was kind of start getting a little bit famous, and then she was talking to some mentor, and then she mentioned to her that she doesn't really sure if she want to keep being a TV host, TV business, because what she really want to do is to be an actress. And then her mentor told her that no, you don't want to be an actress. You want to be famous. If you want to be an actress, you would be waiting table right now. And then that became the moment Oprah had a realization that, oh, all I wanted is to be seen and to be famous. And then she was okay with that. And then she kept pursuing whatever opportunity that's in front of her. And then that gives her her success. So I think that's a great example of no matter what is, it's totally okay, and we need to learn to recognize it and embrace it so we can really pursue and head in the direction that we truly desire. So really question yourself, how much do you like to write, enjoy your writing, or how much do you willing to spend your time to watch more film, read more book, to learn about storytelling? And to note here, and I think this is a very important note, when I say enjoy doing something, it doesn't mean there won't be resistance. In fact, the more something matters to us, the more we want to pursue something that's important to us, the more resistance we will feel. So when you feel procrastination or resistance, it doesn't necessarily mean you don't enjoy the process or if this is not your passion. What I like to identify whether or not I feel passionate about something is if the process of the thing I'm doing from time to time give me the sense of kind of tingly feeling in my heart, or it kind of gave me some excitement that feels coming from nowhere, that I just feel driving towards something. Or sometimes, like I mentioned before, maybe I wrote a good sentence and then that itself already made my day. It make me so happy, and it might make me feel like my hair all lifting up and getting some goosebump from the writing itself. Or sometimes I find myself writing and tearing up. I believe all of those are the signs of writing is kind of one of my passion. And the note here, I said one of my passion because I believe we can all have multiple passion. And another way I think it's really helpful for you to identify what may be your passion is to really ask yourself this question: what would you like to do when you're absolutely bored? When there's no TV, no Netflix, no social media, no video game, no party, no nothing. And then what are the things you would randomly pick up to do? Or what kind of activity you would start doing? Is it to pick up a pen, start journaling about your life, start creating poem? Or is it pick up a camera, start going out filming the world, filming people around you? Is it start singing or start playing on your piano, making music? Or is it simply just doodling? Or could it be simply organizing your financial situation, start calculating and then planning? Those are indication of what you might interested in doing, and then those activities could be your passion. And then the third way I think can help you identify your passion is to really think the past of your life. And sometimes you'd be surprised that there are things always coming back. When I asked myself this question, I was kind of a little bit surprised what a long relationship I had with writing. I love to read since I was a kid, around 6-7 years old, when I just start recognizing words. I read in Chinese at that time, and in Chinese we learn pronunciation first. So you don't need necessarily understand the character itself, but those children's books have all the pronunciation on top of every word. As long as you can pronounce, you can read the book. That's how I started reading at a very young age. And also I was bullied really bad, so I like to basically stay home in my little cocoon to spend time with the books. And then that led me to really want to write. I remember the first time I told my mom I want to be a writer was when I was 8. And I really pick up a notebook and start creating my own story. And then my mom was reading the story to her friends, kind of brag about it. But I think at that time, they thought it was more of like a hobby. And then they loved it, but they never thought it's something I want to do for a living, and they never thought it's possible that I can do that for a living. Gradually, because the school come along, and I forgot and stop doing my writing until I was about 11 to 12. For some reason, I started picking up journaling again. And then also, I'm not only journal each day about how I feel, I start writing poetries. At that time, I create a lot of short stories, poetries. I spent hours outside of the school and tweaking words and trying to share my poetry with friends and see if that gave them goosebumps, things like that. When I was about 12, I discovered film. And then that's the first time I realized that how much I want to be a filmmaker. I want to tell a story that can present on the big screen and then poke other people's emotion. And I thought that was like the best thing ever. And then that led me to become very obsessed with movies. I watch tons of movies until I was around late middle school. The schoolwork got very intense and I was trying to get my grades up. I stopped watching movies, stopped reading books. I sort of stopped everything until I got into high school. Around 15 to 16, I picked up journaling again. I was writing diary every night and I spent 2 hours on each day's diary. I write details, I try to make the sentence beautiful, and then sometimes I write in class too. I was not doing good on my chemistry class nor math class, but I was doing really well in my Chinese literature class, and I always doing really well in the literature class. And once again, at the late high school, around senior year, everybody was trying to get into college, and once again I forgot and stopped my writing again. It's almost like something I love and I put it on the side and then completely forgot about them until I got into the pre-college. For some reason, we have lots of spare time. At that time, social media was not really a thing yet. I spent most of my time writing about my feeling of being away from my hometown, how I feel homesick, and how my experience is in the new state in China, in this new environment with different people. I kind of send in my writing to my Chinese literature teacher. I had two different teachers, and then they both loved my writing. That really boosted my confidence. And then that kind of led me to college, and I found myself to do performing arts and stuff. Another form of storytelling, trying to be on stage, to act, things like that. And eventually I told my parents that I'm going to pursue filmmaking. And even I go into filmmaking study with all the different departments, different things, I find myself mostly drawn to writing and directing. Especially writing, I found myself very enjoying the quiet, peaceful moment of imagining a life, and then writing a very good dialogue or an action sequence that really can make my day. I think you get what I mean. Throughout my life, I keep coming back this idea of I love to write, and I write, and I spend time write for nothing, like journaling or writing poetries, not for publishing, not for making movie, and I'm just always drawn to telling stories. I think that's a great indication that writing is my passion, and that never discount my struggle over my filmmaking career or my resistance, or sometimes I do feel like I procrastinate in terms of writing, things like that. Even I have those resistance towards it, but I know writing is my passion. I hope this little example can help you to go back, really journal or think about your past and see if there's anything that somehow just keep coming back to you. Maybe you're not professional at it, but it's just something always come back to you when you have the time and energy, when life is not in the way. That's the thing you pick up doing over and over, and then maybe that is your passion. Another thing I want to kind of demystify a little bit is a lot of the time when people talk about the word of passion, people think about the thing, the one thing, the little spark that each person somehow mystically assigned to, that just that one thing you need to find to do, and that's the right thing to do. Maybe there are some people, there are only one thing they like to do in the world, and then that's what they always do. But I think for most of us, we are multi-passionate people. We have a lot of different things we like to do, and then we could have a lot of different passions, because we are here to experience life, and it would be really weird if there's only one thing we like and then we don't like the rest. I think everything is falling into a spectrum. I think what we need to really think about is which activity that I want to choose to learn, to grow, to cultivate. And then that's the thing we can call it the passion that we want to pursue. And maybe along the way, we maybe success on this passion, and then we can pick up something else too. We just need to be kind of have a focus one at a time, and then to do what we like to do and what bring ourselves joy. That said, once you identify that one thing you would like to cultivate, now it comes to how to develop your routine, how to learn and then to enhance your craft, how to find your voice, how to find your working style. All of those are the process of cultivate your passion. And then those process is not going to come easy, but the more you do, the more motivation you'll get, the more momentum you'll build. And then that's how passion works. Yes, there will be time you will feel resistance that you don't feel like to do it because this is so important to you and you fear of failure. Or you will feel resentment because maybe you can't really make money from writing and you're so busy with working at your day job. So the reality and the financial might will build a little bit of resentment for you towards this activity that you like to do, the thing you called passion. It's kind of like what my parents warned me, but it's totally okay. It's a process in pursuing passion. It's inevitable. Anything good that never come easily. And it is because of the difficulty of those moments, those resentment and those resistance make the passion much more precious. And once the day that you made a progress, you'll feel much more reward than if you didn't have those challenges along the way. In short, I think following your passion is not pursuing an end goal that's far away from us, but it's to really walk through the process of finding what works for you. To summarize all of this, passion doesn't equal easy. Passion is not the thing that you do like in the movie, that every day you wake up, that's the only thing you do. It flows through you so easily. That's not for all of us. Hollywood put that into movie because that's exciting and then that holds your attention. But that's not the reality for most of us. Remember, passion is a process, not the fantasy of a result. The result will come along the way of pursuing, and it's nice to have them, but your true passion lies here and now. Thank you so much to join me into this coffee chat. I never get to finish my coffee because I was very excited to chat with you, and I also forgot to mention I bought new glasses. Anyway, if you like this coffee chat, you might also like this coffee chat as well. And thank you so much for being here. Be patient, be present, stay creative. I'll see you next week. Bye. Beep.